Well, thank you for inviting us on that.
Yeah,
Looking
thanks for
forward
doing
to
it.
So
I wish we could
Yeah,
have done this
thanks,
face to
man.
face, but I've had to run over to the Wirral side, where I'm originally
Oh,
oh
from.
wow,
big up.
I do live in Manchester, but I've had to pop over today to help move some boxes and stuff. So
Yeah,
oh fair enough, fair enough.
yeah. Are you a Liverpool fan?
I am.
Well, I've got the shirt on, so
Oh, good. We're off to a
yeah.
flying start
I'm
already.
not. I'm not from Liverpool. I'm from Bolton, me. But my dad's a Liverpool fan, so
You've just inherited it.
My
I've
berry shirt's
just
in the
I've
cupboard.
just inherited it. Yeah.
Good. What about you, James? Are you a red?
I've got a beautiful Berry FC shirt in the cupboard that's not out yet, but it's a magnificent work of art, and thus I'm a Berry fan.
That's where you're originally
Not,
from, isn't
not
it, Berry?
yeah, I'm from Bury. I mean, mum and dad are United fans and stuff, but I've always just kind of been a Bury fan because it's miles cheaper. But the downside to that is that we lose every week, but United also lose every week, so I'm not really getting a different experience.
Yeah, it's a lot lighter on the wallet, I suppose.
Absolutely.
So I was trying to find as much as I could about you guys. You haven't been going for that long, have you, in your current form?
Not in the grand scheme, no. It's all been very kind of, it's happened very fast. We've only been gigging in the past sort of 12 months, and releasing music's been going on for a bit longer than that, but the stuff that's currently on Spotify is only around about a year and a half old at most. So we've
Yeah.
just kind of kicked off with it and just kind of ran with it and stuff. It's been a lot of fun so far.
How,
I mean,
how did this
I'm,
current this current incarnation of the band? How did you all meet, and how did it get started?
So
me and
do you want me to?
let's on to
Okay. Yeah. So we met at a house party in 2021, and James already had sort of music out with Vincent's last summer, like already released an EP and stuff like that. And just sort of I listened to it and I really liked it, and then eventually, they wanted to put a band together, and then I just joined, and then sort of from there we started doing gigs in Manchester, like the Eagle Inn was our first show that we did. Carried on playing from there, and then I just sort of started getting involved on the songwriting process. And there we have like this duo thing. And then when we play live, we bring in other members like our friend Abby, who comes in, and we have Joel and Brad, the drummer and saxophonist as well. So yeah.
So
we
you
try.
guys are
It's
kind of
very
the core of the
versatile.
band, if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James likes to think we've got this
There's,
sort of one thing going on, but I think it's more of a Tears for Fears thing.
I think we'll like agree on Pet Shop Boys.
Yeah, I think we'll meet in middle at Pet Shop Boys.
I'm happy to call that.
Yeah.
And what's kind of the big influences for the band? Because I think I've read somewhere it was like some old bio or something. I think it mentioned The Cure.
That would have been definitely for our older stuff. And we still
Okay.
play our older stuff live. Like we've
Yeah.
got songs in the set that are about like they've been going since I first kind of started writing songs for Vincent's Last Summer, which would round about been 2 years ago. And we've kind of adapted them to fit with kind of what we're doing now. So there's still a bit of Cure in there inherently, but more now we'd more consider ourselves kind of LCD sound system meets kind of hopefully Charlie XCX, and we're kind of doing all this post punk, and then we see all these bands that are actually, there's like this pop with like an edge to it, and we're kind of wanting to get in on that as well because there's
Yeah.
some amazing stuff out right now that's brilliant, and there's never been a better time to be involved in post punk. Is what I
There's
think.
a playlist that you've made out on Spotify because I was doing my nerd thing today and sort of researching you and trying to find out as much as I could. And
course.
the sort of spread of different references in that playlist, like there's like it goes from Queens of the Stone Age to LCD Sound System, like you mentioned. I think The Fall I mentioned in there.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
think
think we all agree on the
that's
fall.
yeah, I think that's what I
Yeah.
added in there. I definitely added Queens of Stone Age because that's like my bread and butter. for like this sort of music, you know.
Again,
It's
it
a
comes
duo
back to
that
the
shouldn't
edge.
really work. Means
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's the great thing about me and James like writing songs together as well. Like, we both come from very different backgrounds of music, so you know, like I come from a background of, I mean, I've grown up in a family of music. Like my parents are both musicians, and so I grew up like watching them playing cover bands in pubs, and you know, they were playing like songs like Queen and Fleetwood Mac and stuff like that, and so that was my thing when I was a kid. I always knew I was going to do music from that. But then on James, on the other hand, like sort of, you've always been into like stuff like you said, like the Cure and the Smiths, and you
yeah,
know, like Manchester sound and stuff like that. So we've kind of blended these two um music tastes together, and it's created Vincent's Last Summer.
That's cool, because
that's
if you
like
guys just liked exactly the same stuff, you're just going to produce exactly the same sound, and it's not really going to go anywhere interesting. But if you've got wildly different influences and you come together, and it's you manage to make it come together.
Yeah,
me
exactly.
and Tom disagree on a lot of music. We
We
like
really do, honestly.
Tom loves rock and roll and I hate it. And I think that's
Yeah.
our biggest thing, yeah, like as a band is that like Tom is very rock and roll and I'm very anti rock and roll. I couldn't think of anything worse, whereas Tom couldn't think of anything better. So I think kind of like working around that is a lot of fun because we have our moments where it is rock and roll, but because we've kind of adapted it for each other's kind of musical needs and stuff, it gives us this sound that's like, oh, okay, you can hear it, but it's not entirely there. But it is
Absolutely. Well, it's like we were saying last week. Like obviously we write I wrote a song, like a bit of a song, and James finished it. It's like a new song called Big Buildings, and I'm telling you now, like the riff, like the main hook on it, it's a rock and roll riff. And then when I sent it to JMO just obviously kept it in because it's like the hook, but then added all that post punk stuff in between it, you know. So it sort of fused, like it's coming back to that again. Like we fuse our our influences together, you know.
A bit of friction's a good thing in that case.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
absolutely,
It's
definitely.
not like we're at each other's throats, so we,
No,
we
no,
No,
don't
no.
no,
really, you know.
not
But
yet. Anyway,
it's funny. It's funny when Tom will say something about rock and roll, and I'll be like, yeah, yeah, sticking it.
So
yeah.
do you come up with a riff and you're like, oh, James is gonna hate this one, or oh, Tom's not gonna like this. Let's see how this comes across.
Like we're quite open with it. We just like
Yeah,
show each other and like if anyone's having anything to say about it, we'll just say it because like that's a good
yeah.
workflow. That's how we've always just done it.
That's
Like
just yeah. It's
ever
how
since
we
we started
work.
writing songs that are like that haven't been for Vincent's Last Summer and they've just been for like before we kind of got involved in it properly.
Yeah.
It would have been like that. We'd be like, oh, that's cool. Or, oh, that's could use this.
I know it's one of them things as well. Like, I mean, I love writing instrumentals to songs. I'm all right at writing lyrics, but most of my lyrics usually they always end up being like lovey dovey, and like I know James doesn't want to do that. I know like doesn't want to write love songs, but it's just what I know what to write. You know what I mean? So when it came, I kind of wanted to get out of that habit of writing like songs like trying to like get with a girl or something, you know. And when I think I wrote when I wrote Movie Stars, one of our songs that we have, it's totally different in it, JMO. Like I wanted to write a song that's sort of like a dream or a story, and that's what Movie Stars is about. It's about like everybody like lives the life, like goes to work and goes home and just repeats. But everyone has that dream in their head, like, oh, wish I could just be like a movie star, you know. So that's
And
kind
that's
of
one of my
all.
favorite yours as well. I
Yeah,
love
and
that.
that's
That's a
James's
tune.
favorite song that I've written. And I think I want to write more songs sort of like that. So the idea of a dream or a story or something like that, you know.
Something that's universal to more than just yourself. Something
Yeah,
that
it's
everyone can
something.
relate to.
It's kind of like you know, like it's kind of like the song "Rockstar" by Nickelback. I mean, nothing comparable to Vincent's Last Summer, but it is that same sort of idea. Like, you know, I want to be a rock star. Like, you know, everybody wants to be a rock star. You know, it's a song that people are going to listen to and they're going to be inspired by, and you know, we're just gonna love it, aren't
As we kind of like press on as well, we're definitely kind of trying to come up with more themed songwriting.
we? Yeah, for
So
sure.
we have a project on the way, and there's been this tagline that's kind of stuck with the band recently, which is "Get Rich Quick,"
I
which
saw
is
this on your
like
Instagram bio, yeah, and I
kind
think
of
you had a
like our
placard at the gig.
motif. Yeah, and it's kind of like this line that like we came up with, and it's kind of followed us around, and
Yeah,
we kind of going into this image of right, yeah, get rich quick. Okay, we're gonna look shady and sleazy, and like Better Call Saul style kind of lawyer look around here, and that's where the kind of suits come from as well. So I think as we're going into that bit of like imaging, like as in how the band looks on stage and stuff, we're gonna try down that way as well. So I'd say the first song to do it was probably Crime Down, because there's a theme there of like angry locals, people that are like annoyed at like the council for approving these huge skyscraper luxury apartments that are costing like thousands of pounds and stuff. But it's all for like get rich quick. Let's sell off as much as we can and be all weird about it and make a lot of money. So I think that's what we're kind of edging on writing about at the minute. And then there'll be like a big long form project that you'll see next year from us. So it'll kind of put all of that into play.
yeah, definitely.
I was thinking because I was out for a walk in a certain area of Manchester. I won't name where, but you can see the city centre from this kind of area in the outskirts. The street that I was standing on was crumbling. It was like the road was just scarred and potholes, and obviously the buildings are leaning over in some cases, and there's like brick walls. And then it's almost like dystopian. You can see in the background, you can see like another.
Yeah.
It's almost like
what a
utopia and dystopia in the same view. It's weird.
That's like literally the kind of like, if you were to like visualize, if you were to like turn that into a sound or a song or anything like that, like we're trying to visualize that feeling.
That's
like,
that's
oh
exactly
God,
that.
we're on the outside looking in, and there's all these huge businesses and stuff that are there, but we're here as well. So how are we going to catch up with them? I guess we'll have to get rich quick.
And it's a nice parody of all those grifters that you see on YouTube, like, here's how I afforded this Lamborghini behind me. They're not going to mention that it's actually rented.
That was literally like the main inspiration behind it. Like,
100% was.
Like Mr. Beast Playboy
it's a very
wannabes.
huge thing. It's massive. Like, they're everywhere and you can't escape them if you tried. God. They are actively pushed by algorithms and stuff online to come up on your pages. How can you not want to take the mick out of them and say, actually, no?
it's that sort of content that gets pushed to like them Andrew Tate sort of Sigma wannabe little pricks. Like,
you just want to like to satirize that and like do something topical with that.
I think there's
so
many people like that in the world.
Do with it.
Yeah, it's an important time in the world because, unfortunately, there are a lot of pricks in the world at the minute, and their loss is our gain.
Yeah, if you can take what they're doing and satirize it and say, look, this is what you look like.
That's it.
That's exactly what we're gonna do. Yeah, that's like our mission statement if there was.
Yeah.
I can't believe more people don't see the irony in wanting to be independent and wanting to show self-confidence, and they think the only way they can do that is by worshipping what somebody they've never met says on the internet. And following religiously exactly what these people are telling them to do.
Because then that's insecurity.
Yeah, the world's just crazy. I mean, like, James knows, I've lost friends, like, people who have, like, fell to this sort of bullshit, and, like, they just kind of, like, they grab these people in the palm of their hand, and some of these people, they will believe anything. and it's just
And then they
tragic
like
to see.
bleed them dry as well, and then they like
Yeah.
make them subscribe
Yeah,
and sign up to newsletters and courses
yeah,
online and the name of well-being, but it's actually just
yeah. He's just
robbing you blind.
yeah. Well, people are idiots, aren't they? Well, some people are,
I think it's popular enough as well for people to get it and stuff. I think but like I don't know how much we'd be able to say that people and figures like that are the mainstream, but increasingly that seems to be the case with just how much attention they get and the trajectory, how fast it's all happened. Only really in like the kind of dawning of short form content, where it's just like everything's like less than 10 seconds long. You've got to be as snappy as you can. So I suppose we're gonna have to deliver our message in a similar way.
Yeah.
Maybe we should stop being abandoned via TikTok account.
Unfortunately, I think the lines are kind of blurred. I think you have to do both now, don't you? To
You
get your
do,
name out there. You
God.
have to fight fire with fire.
Absolutely.
What a pain. It's effort. We're kind of getting into that side of advertising at the minute, TikTok.
How are you finding
And
it?
it's impossible because you've just got to like, it's trial and error.
Yeah,
Just over and over again. You just got to do like the same thing or like change it up a bit if one week it doesn't work. And then, whatever sticks. But it's impossible to gauge.
yeah. I mean, it's like I understand that visual marketing is like it's necessary for being in a band and stuff like that. But bloody hell, it's draining, man. I mean, like I've got a list on my phone like VLS TikTok ideas, and like they're like stupid. Like I had an idea, like obviously we're playing in London on Wednesday, and I thought, oh, we'll be getting the coach down. Like originally, thought, oh, we'll recreate that scene from Peep Show, where it's like,
Yeah.
it ain't like, well, I guess that's all ancient history now. But it's just thinking of ideas, man. Like it, because I think some bands just artists in general, they put as much effort into the content visually as they do what you listen to, and
Yeah.
it's bloody draining, mate. Honestly.
We'd
When
like
you
to think
think
that
like
we're
a pie chart of what you think you're going to be doing as part of a band, you think it's going to be like 90% music and then like 5% doing press, 3% doing this, 2% whatever, and instead it's like 85% social media strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
and emailing, God forbid.
Yeah, I do a lot of emailing, to be fair.
Have you delved into the world of Spotify playlist curators yet? Have you had to do all that?
That's James's job, Pop.
Yeah, man. We've had to. I'm responsible for making sure the pitch is looking lovely, in both sense of the words.
Yeah.
And it is literally potluck, like we've been saying with social media and stuff. It's just absolutely. Well, I mean, I think as we're establishing that image, like we said before about get rich quick being our sound, it's also our look with like the suits and stuff and like the placard.
Yeah.
And recently, this pink balaclava that Abby gave us, our guitarist,
I saw that.
That somehow like dripped into the whatever we're doing, and it's been a lot of fun to kind of develop that idea and like, okay, so we're starting off with suits. Suits are fairly plain. How can we take it and make it a bit more ridiculous and a bit more theatrical? So we're kind of developing that still at the minute, and it's not in its final form yet. God will try and work over like the next year to just see what ridiculous things we can do with the suit. But I think that's our get rich quick thing visually.
Yeah. I think James is just gonna go like full David Byrne at some point. I'd
love to. It'd be such a dream.
You can probably just borrow one of my Giacomo suits, to be honest. Big boy suits.
I'd love to any day.
I'd like to see that. People like David Byrne, they're such a, because he's like a conceptual artist, isn't he? The way he puts a show, like he doesn't just turn up and play the album. He turns up and he puts on a show.
No, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
I remember seeing like I've got Stop Making Sense on DVD, and there's like an extra where it
Yeah.
shows like the actual storyboard of the stage setup, and it's not like nothing's an accident. Everything happens on cue for this reason and that reason. And like with that, I'd kill to do that. I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
The way he
It's
comes
been
out with that
vigorously
old
planned
80s cassette player, and he's like, "Hey, I gotta take you on a show, yeah."
What a way
It's
to
one of
start a
them.
gig.
It's one of them with Talking Heads. I mean, before I was in VLS, like I knew the hits. You know what I mean, like Psycho Killer and like Once in a Lifetime and stuff like that. But I think when I joined this band, like James sort of shared their influence with me. Talking Heads was a big one, and like I'd never seen Stop Making Sense, and like until about a year and a half ago, and I watched it for the first time ever, and like I watched the whole thing on YouTube, like some 360p video, and just blew my mind. Like that Life During Wartime we do on that. It's probably one of the best like live things I've ever seen. That
It's beautiful.
yeah, for sure.
Oh, got to do that.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
cover Life During Wartime
we
one
want it to
day.
be that theatrical. You heard it there first.
Yeah.
We want it to be that theatrical though. Like we want it to be so like as if it was a play, as if it was more than just a gig, and it was more than you kind of turning up
Yeah.
and doing the songs, and like
Inject some
even more
theatre
than
into
just
the-
looking a certain way. Yeah, just like do a play on whatever it is you're trying to do. Like, you know,
I got a B
we
in
do the whole-
drama, so we can use
I
that
didn't
maybe.
even do drama.
Vincent's Last Summer, the musical.
Yeah, we want it to be West End.
It's going to be
That's the
better than
goal.
Take That, the musical, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's probably not difficult.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen the thing. Just Gary Barlow kind of.
I
looking
just,
at the wall.
I just saw it. Like I got off at Oxford Road and I walked past Palace Theatre and I saw Take That. And I thought, you know what? Anyone will watch any old shite nowadays, won't they? You know, like
What are you on about?
Take That, the musical.
What's that?
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
No,
Gary-
wait, seriously.
Gary Barlow's like, and he like rubbing it all in.
Is there actually Take That music?
Mate, honestly, Google it after the podcast.
Oh my
obviously.
god, there is. What the hell? It's
I
been
know.
going for years. What? It's
Yeah,
been going for like 7 years. Have I not seen this before?
yeah. It's
Oh, that's
probably
freak.
it's probably best not to talk about it anymore. Gary Barlow's going to copyright his podcast.
Maybe I'll watch that and rethink my entire like artistic intentions, and it'll just go completely to that. You know.
Yeah.
And when it comes to studio stuff, do you guys self-produce everything, or do you have someone that you go to?
Yeah, very DIY. It's just in house. We very recently Tommy's garage, and that's kind of now become the creative hub for Vincent's Last Summer. Whereas
Yeah,
before
it
it would
really
kind of be
has.
a bit patchy. It would be like, all right, I'll do something in my bedroom, which is like where the bulk of Crime Down was recorded and my own stuff beforehand, and then Tom would overdub stuff in his bedroom, and we'd kind of bounce with. There's not a day that goes by where we're not bouncing like project files back and forth to one another. But
All the time.
ever since it's basically daily. But now we've kind of got this space where we can go to, and it's like, oh, okay, we both can come here whenever we want and sort this all out. And the Crime Down properly
It's in this
recorded
very
there.
room. This very room where I am right now. This little box room is where we recorded the rest of Crime Down. So
And it felt like a really good way of doing it, because it was like, okay, we're both actually here, it's kind of just coming over and chilling and recording stuff without too much pressure of like, being on someone's time.
Yeah, studios
But,
aren't cheap.
Studios aren't cheap, God.
it's kind of all set up for us anyway, as well. Like this garage we have at mine, like because mum and dad's play as well. Like I said before, my dad's got his drum kit downstairs. Mum's got her keyboards and what have you, and they're just there for use. If we want to use them, like I've used that drum kit on like VLS demos and stuff like that, and you know, it's just great to have a sort of a hub for creating and doing content, and it's got a projector, so you know.
And do you
Yeah,
have
we'll tend to spend most recording days like watching Tenacious D or like playing
Yeah.
FIFA.
Or like going or having a break from songwriting and playing FIFA.
Generally not all that productive, but when we do actually work on stuff, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I was going to say, do you have to give yourself deadlines?
Uh, Sometimes, yeah,
Yeah,
because
mate.
otherwise, nothing. We need to kick ourselves at the bottom sometimes. Or I do as
Yeah.
well, mainly because I'm kind of put myself in charge of the mixing and the producing side.
Yeah.
And I think as we kind of grow and continue, like this might not be the case forever, but for now it is the case, and that's fun because we kind of do it our own way and we figure it all out for ourselves. And what's gone out so far has had decent reviews, and I think we're confident enough in our ability to kind of think, oh yeah, we're proud of putting this out. It's not something that we're kind of going to be shy about. The fact that we're
Yeah,
self-produced.
definitely.
So far you've put out, it's been like a run of singles, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've not had anything as long form as like an EP or an album. Yeah.
Have you got any plans for that in the near future?
We do. We've got some stuff on the way. We're going to be building up to this kind of. There's going to be like the release of a lot of tension, a lot of development, and that's all going to take place like towards the end of this year and kind of over most of next year. Is that we're really going to start like solidifying like the imaging and the sound and the visuals and like putting it all together. So
Yeah.
I think, especially in the summer of next year, we're going to be very, very busy indeed.
Any
Although I
plans to
can't give
tour?
too much away, I don't think. Oh, that would be lovely. We've done our little micro dosage of being on the road over the past week, which
We
has
went
been
to Liverpool.
knackering.
We went to Liverpool. It's that was it.
Yeah. Well, we played
EBGBs, wasn't it?
Manchester the day before, though. Yeah,
Oh yeah, of
it was
course. I mean, we did
EBGBs.
a 2-day tour. It's been like our taster of like life on the road, but life on the train line.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very kind of. So,
Yes, where we
if
played
the production's
EBGBs.
DIY,
That's a
EBGBs, they
cool
were
place.
really good.
Have
It
you
were
been there
great.
before?
oh,
Before the
such a
gig?
fun venue.
No, never,
Oh,
never. It were. I mean, I think I've only ever been to one gig in Liverpool, and I think it's when I was 16, and I saw Catfish and the Bottlemen at the arena. JMO's rolling his eyes now. I was
I'm
16.
not even
I
listening.
liked.
Turn the mic off.
Yeah, I was 16. I used to like Catfish. I don't like to talk about it.
I think the only gig I've seen at Liverpool was Courting, and Sean from Courting very kindly came to our Liverpool gig, and we chatted for a bit, and he's a really nice dude.
Yeah, sound.
But
Similar sort of.
Go on, sorry.
Um,
No, go on. Sorry, go on. What were you gonna say? After you, John.
I was going to say, was it a headline gig at EBGB's, or was it, were you supporting someone?
no. We're supporting our mate Squelch from Manchester. Big up. And
Squelch.
it is weird because I remember like they had messaged us like a few weeks before the promoters messaged us saying, "Oh, would you like a gig in Liverpool?" And we're like, "Yeah." And then the promoters messaged us saying, "Oh, would you like a gig in Liverpool?" And we're like, "Oh my God, 2 gigs in Liverpool!" But it turned out to be the same gig. So but it was a really fun night, and you know that's the first experience I've had of getting the train with your gear and going to a different city and setting up and playing these stuff and then going back on the same
Yeah.
night, which is what we ended up doing. And we've got London on Wednesday, which is going to be that, but obviously a lot more so because it's a fairly longer journey and it's going to be an even later night. But I mean, we didn't like kill each other while we were out. I think we'll probably be fairly set up for life on the road when it comes around.
Yeah,
You survived 2
definitely,
days.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about 2 days. We're ready to take on the world, basically.
You think you
Absolutely.
do 6 months in the back of a van?
6 months in the back of the van.
It couldn't be better. You know, we'll bring that projector along, like we were saying. You know what I mean? We'll even do a gig half the
Bit of
time.
FIFA. Yeah, I mean, but even then, like the night and day cafe that we did the night before, it was a massive turnout for a Wednesday night.
A lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it were.
That was a great gig.
It was just. It's
I
a
was really
great
happy with that
venue
gig.
to play because, like, I mean, we stand with them, like with everything that what they're going through with the stuff with the courts and stuff like that. I never went there before, so I never knew how much of an important venue it were. But
Is this
now
what
I
the noise
know.
complaints?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I've kind of realised now that it is a very important venue, so it should be protected,
Imagine moving in next door to a music venue and then complaining about loud music.
Yeah.
I know.
He's been there for the best part of 30 years. And I think
Yeah,
I don't only really know what I've read online on the news, but apparently the tenant who complained had been there for like 2 years and they moved in like over COVID and stuff. And
yeah.
then the complaint was lodged when they
Oh,
realised
well.
that this live music venue that they moved into next door played live music.
Fuck's sake.
Hopefully,
Well, so what we're gonna do when we do our DJ set there on 4th of November, we're gonna turn it up to 11 just to piss the neighbours off. We're not gonna do that.
I mean,
Just so you all know.
who knows? Yeah, for legal reasons, that's a joke.
Yeah, it's like I remember my dad telling me a story once, like when he was gigging, he did a gig in Bolton, and there was some old woman who came up to him and went, "You need to turn that drum kit down," and he went, "We don't go down, love, we go up." So I'll just follow my dad's footsteps in that department.
I think it's similar to what we've been seeing in Liverpool, which is they declared war on music venues even pre-COVID because they realised that the land's pretty valuable. So it's like, how can we get these fuckers to close? I know, let's hit them with the noise complaints, or let's send people in there and look for any signs of drug use that means we can just like hammer them, even though you can see that in any Weatherspoons.
Well, yeah,
I've
absolutely.
only heard like a tiny bit about like what's going on in Liverpool with that. Like, it's very bleak, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's just restricted to Liverpool. It seems to be all over the country.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it over COVID and stuff, where like the music industry didn't get as nearly the support that it should have done for something. I don't, I could be wrong on this, but I think like recently it was named like the biggest drawer of tourism and all the things along those lines into the UK.
It's
made the UK a lot of money.
It's a great city, though, Liverpool. I mean, I'm not just saying that as a Liverpool fan, but when we when we were there the other day, me and Jamo, like we went for a pint on Matthew Street. Very basic, I know, but we met up with one of my friends, Alex. He's from the Wirral. And he's an artist as well. He's called Alex Morgan. Listen to him on Spotify. Very good.
Whereabouts in the Wirral is he from?
God knows, mate. No idea. I think he lives near that. I'm sure he said like his missus like lives near Tranmere Rovers, so it must be right. That neck of wood.
Then. Okay.
Probably, yeah. But like we had a great time, and we brought a friend with him, and when Scousers in particular, they're very like welcoming, and I've always thought that. So
it's a beautiful city as well,
and the atmosphere at a gig as well. Like when we were on stage, even though most of the crowd didn't know who we were, they were so welcoming, and they absolutely loved us. So it's somewhere we want to play again, like very soon.
Cool.
I mean, because it's all so new to us, we don't really, or I don't at least know what to go into expecting. But they really kind of set the bar. That was a really fun night in Liverpool.
Yeah, good Guinness as well in Liverpool. Very good Guinness. Gets a 9
out of
yeah. Gets a 9 out of 10 for me, if not a 10 out of 10.
Not quite like being in Dublin, but it's close enough.
That Rubber Soul Bar, that gets a 9 out of 10 for the Guinness because it was really, really good, but it was in a plastic glass. So,
Ooh.
you know, they were
I
1 point
remember
off.
that.
It's surprising
Well,
when you
Tom, you
travel
tell
for a
them.
gig how much time is spent like on travel, setting up. Like
On
it's a
the
full
pace.
night's work, isn't it, to play a 45-minute set or a 1 hour set? It's not.
Yeah. It's a lot of moping around as well, waiting for
Yeah.
trains and waiting for sound
Absolutely.
check and waiting to go on stage and waiting to, do this, that, and the other. But I think that's always
Yeah.
been the case. So we kind of
But
knew
we were like that the other
to
day, weren't we,
expect it.
JMO? Like we were saying, like, just want to do this gig, just want to get on that
Oh.
stage now and play, get that other band
We're
off
very
now.
impatient, though. We need to be patient,
We do.
especially in
I'm
this
working on it. I am working
economy.
on it.
But yeah,
What about the London
Liverpool's
gig? Are you getting the
beautiful.
train down for that?
Oh, I.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. We
it's
even
costing
got
arm and a leg.
our drummer is actually coming down, not even to do the gig, just coming down to see us. Like, because I mean, our drummer Joel is the best drummer in the world. Like, I'll say that hand on heart. And I went to school with him. We were in a cover band when we were in school, so I was in year 11, he was in year 7. But when he was in year 7, he was already a grade 8 drummer.
Wow.
So he was, this guy could play like Rush songs and, like we used to be into metal and stuff. So like he used to play Avenged Sevenfold like it was nothing. And he blew my mind. And even from when I was 16 and he was about 11, I went, that's my drummer. He's my drummer for life now. So, but when it came round to him joining like the VLS live setup, like we were just like he said anyway, like I just love the tunes, like because I'm into my post punk, like I love bands like Feet and Courting and
He goes into
Fontaines.
rehearsals like wearing a Fontaine's t-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, he loves his Fontaines DC and stuff like that. So, but like he loves playing with me anyway, but I love playing with him. So, I think you'll definitely be seeing him getting like more involved and stuff in the future. Definitely.
And James, did you have to ask them both to leave the metal at the door?
Actually, it wasn't a problem. So they made it quite easy.
Well, we did. We actually
It's
the other night we did an improv cover of "Break Stuff" by Limp Bizkit.
we did, and it was a lot of fun. I
It
loved
was
doing
it was great. I mean, I'm not really into my metal anymore, but like when I was about 14, like I was proper into my metal. Like my best mate Alex, he got me into like Avenged Sevenfold, and when we were in school, we were in a little cover band. We used to play like Black Sabbath and Green Day and stuff, Metallica, stuff like that. And so I do have a soft spot for my metal. Like I will go back to it every now and again, and like listen to um bloody like Nightmare by Avenged Sevenfold, that album sometimes. And but I even love going on night outs and Satan's in Manchester just because it's great to go back to it because you feel like a sense of nostalgia for it. But I'll never play in a metal band ever again. I've retired from playing metal.
You sure about
What was that?
Don't think he is.
that? Are you sure about that? Or
No, I only Charlie XCX from now on apparently.
goes back to what we were saying. Like, if you've got such a wide, diverse range of influences as a band, but
Yeah.
you also like this is the crucial thing that not every band gets is you know how to stir them together. You're not just going to sit there arguing because one of you wants to do a Jam cover and the other one wants to do Avenged Sevenfold or whatever. The fact that you guys are able to actually blend what you have into something unique is.
Well, I think it's because we were like mates before band members, though. And like me,
Yeah.
Abby's a huge part of our life. So like you'll see her on stage with us most of the time. And I've been friends with Abby for like 6 years. And then Abby introduced me to Tom. And
Yeah.
we've been mates for 2 years now. And we've just been like, two fingers crossed like the whole time, you know what I mean? And it makes communicating very easy.
Because you can be blunt with each other when you need to.
We've gotten Oh yeah,
Oh
definitely.
yeah, for
And
sure.
you know,
Yeah.
I mean, nothing against bands who like put flyers out for musicians to join their band because that's a perfectly legitimate way of doing it. But we've just like had a best friend chemistry, and that kind of is the first and foremost thing about how we operate as a band is just like being frank.
Yeah.
So if one of you likes something, the other one doesn't, you can just be like, no, Drop that.
Yeah, I mean,
Next.
it's rare. It is rare, honestly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Like,
with that being said, yeah, we don't want to
there's
sound like we
been
have like
there's
spouts
been
all the time
disagreements
about
every
what
now and
music.
again, of course. Like, we've never argued before. We're still waiting on that first argument. Don't know when it's gonna come yet. But even like with
6 months in the back of
when we're
that
writing
van.
songs, if one of us doesn't like a bit, we'll just say it, and then we'll just sort of carry on writing, and then eventually we'll find something that we like. And I think it's just trial and error. That's all it is. And there's no point arguing as a band, because at the end of the day, you're gonna find something that both works for you anyway at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We never leave like a studio session together like like kind of with an eyebrow raise. We're always generally on
No,
the same wavelength by the end of it.
I wouldn't be able to sleep, me. on that
No,
note.
we're like, right, well, let's sort that out
Yeah,
right now.
yeah, for sure.
That's good. It's an important trait for a band to have. I think there's a lot of bands where the music is there, but the social skills or the not negotiation, but the teamwork's not there.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've interviewed bands where I've just thought, like, I don't think these guys actually like each other.
Yeah, it happens, doesn't it? I mean, music is a mad world, isn't it? And
this could just be a massive front, to be fair.
I know
This is solely PR.
I know so many bands are in Manchester. Me, I'm the same. Like, they're not fucking friends and what. They've just been they just know that they're all good working with each other, but they go over separate ways after. When me and James and everyone that we hang out with, we just go to the pub, play darts, put Juki on, and just chill.
There's really a jukebox now. There's really a dartboard anymore. It's quite frustrating.
Yeah, me and James all love darts. Like, we're obsessed. Like,
I think there's places now that have a dartboard and the jukebox. It's almost like an ironic thing, like, remember this era.
It is.
Honestly, if you ever bring Bullseye back, me and James will go on it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be unreal.
So
an episode of that on Challenge, and I just thought, like, I feel like I'm in some pub in the 70s.
It's bloody good though, isn't it? Watching it on Challenge, like, I watch it with my dad all the time in the living room. Like, if I see if I hear I'm like, right, I'm getting in that living room now, watching Bullseye. And then you look at me,
my favorite thing about Bullseye. Favorite thing about Bullseye are the prizes, because it'll be like a tease made or a compact disc player, or it'll be like something completely the other end, which is like a speedboat, but they live in.
Well, that's like with Peter. It's like that's the Peter Kay joke, isn't it? Like, what if we want a speedboat? Yeah. Where do we live? Tamworth.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's in middle where there's no ocean.
I remember my sister asked for a birthday a tease made on the back of seeing it on a repeat of Bullseye, and apparently it saved her during first year uni. It'd be like, it's like this contraption where there's an alarm clock on it. When it hits the alarm clock, it brews a cup of tea, like puts bag in, puts the boiling water in, and then just settles and stuff. And then when you wake up, you've got like a tea of perfect temperature.
It's like a Wallace and Gromit brew, isn't it? Like,
it is, yeah. It's like, it genuinely is like a Wallace and Gromit contraption.
Catapults you out of bed.
The thing is about Bullseye, my dad's mate Wayne, he told him a story, like, at Glastonbury when we were there. He said apparently he had a mate who went on Bullseye in 90s, and he won, like, I think he won something really big, and apparently the producers said, "Here, we'll give you this money, and you just leave the speedboat or whatever it were." So apparently they used to bribe people back in the 80s and 90s. If you won something really big that was expensive, just give you a bit of cash instead.
You'd probably prefer that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to see someone tugging a speedboat down M1, are you?
Yeah. As you say, they live like 100 miles from the nearest beach as well.
Yeah, unless it's Bully, obviously, pulling it.
I know someone who got some producer knocked on their door once and said, do you mind if we show people around your house for one of these like property shows? You know, when they go like, now the next house for this lovely couple is a 3-bedroom, blah, 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 with a stunning view over, you know, like when they're trying to get them to buy a house or whatever.
Yeah.
And they said, well, my house isn't for sale. And he said, yeah, no, that doesn't matter, but we're just going to show them around it for 20 minutes and make it look like they're interested in buying it because we need to fill up time on the show.
You see,
Wow.
the thing is, John, this is the thing what Get Rich Quick is all about. It's all, I mentioned Bullseye at the start because I wanted to bring us round to this full circle moment. There's people in the television industry that are trying to bribe people to not win speedboats, and we're going to do something about this.
Big
Get
speedboat.
rich quick. Yeah.
This is what the people have been waiting for.
Yeah, they've been waiting for us to come
Someone
over
to
and go, you know
finally
what,
put
if you
these
want that
television producers.
if you want that speedboat, you can have that speedboat. Don't let Jim Bowen tell
Nothing
you not to
wrong
have
with
it.
living in Derby and having a speedboat.
Yeah.
Just parked on the driveway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You
Just
see
for
that all the
show.
time.
You have
You know,
nice things.
you see that all the time, you know, like when you I remember driving when I was going down Morrison's with my mum down Harwood, and I saw like an house and it had like a boat on the drive. Like, why do they have a boat on the drive? Seriously, you know, like it's either like they're gonna drive to Blackpool and like just pop it in.
Maybe they do.
But it's just
They
weird.
could do.
Why wouldn't you leave it in Blackpool, like docked up or something, and like leave it on your driveway where you have to bring it all the way there and pay for petrol and stuff
Nick,
like that? You know, petrol's not cheap nowadays. Hence, get rich quick.
You
So-
can't just say hence get rich quick after every conversation.
Yeah, basically. You know, Hungry, don't you?
All right, this is a weird story. I'm gonna interview them soon.
Yeah.
And the reason why I know them was because I was setting up in a rehearsal studio to interview somebody else. And the lead singer from Hungary, what's his name? Do you know his name? Jacob.
One of my mates.
The door flew open and Jacob walked in unannounced. And he said, "Excuse me, mate, have you got any spare cables?" And I said, "No, sorry." And then he said, "Do you work here?" And I said, "No, I'm here to interview someone." And then he sort of like looked past me and he was like looking at all the lights and like the microphones that I had set up and the chairs. And he went, "Oh, cool. We do an interview."
That sounds like him.
That sounds like something. I mean, I know Jacob through. We both go to BIM together, doing songwriting, and you know, from the day I met him on first day of uni, I can believe that because that's the kind of guy he is.
As I was sort of talking to him and explaining, I could see his eyes like looking past me and looking at, like,
looking
the
at the
setup,
camera.
and he was like, I could do this. I could be in that.
Yeah.
He don't waste a second.
You know, it doesn't. Honestly, that guy.
He's a great lad.
Yeah,
He'll have a
that
great
lad,
time
honestly,
interviewing
is constantly like doing like industry stuff, like networking and all that stuff. And I mean, Hungry are doing amazing. I mean, I love Hungry. Can't wait to play with them on Wednesday. But you know what? Even the Hungry lads, they love us as well. Like, I mean, Jacob and I think it was the bass player. I'm so sorry, I forgot your name. You know, they came seeing us at night and day, and you know, they absolutely loved it. And you know, we've always looked after each other like that. So I think that's obviously we got this through. I think it might have been through them.
Yeah, because I had a room booked in the same place, and the guest that I was supposed to interview dropped out.
Yeah.
So I messaged them saying, "Hey, bit of a wild one. Are you guys free in like 30 minutes? Because I need to interview somebody, and I don't want to just let the room go to waste." And they said, "Unfortunately, no. But try asking these guys, Vincent's last summer," which is how we came to meet. Obviously, you guys weren't free then, which is why we're doing it.
Yeah,
in the week,
that was my fault, right? You know, it's because I just woke up at like 2:00.
Yeah,
and I was
you'd messaged us, and I generally am fairly on top of the band account, and I think it was like 3 hours before the thing was about to start, and I was like, okay, I'll give Tom a ring. It's like 1, he didn't answer. Okay, it's probably out. Okay, 1:30, give him an answer. Give him a ring, sorry, no answer. 2, same again, and this happens to like 3 o'clock, and it's like, okay, obviously it's a bit late in the day now.
Yeah,
Whenever
but I
was just
rang
asleep.
you. I rang you, but it was as soon as I woke up, so I was like, "The fuck you
Yeah,
doing?"
and you were like, "Hello, what? You missed like 3 calls off me." And I was like, it was quite funny.
Yeah,
It's like 3 o'clock.
I'm not in. Listen, I'm unemployed. I'm not in uni until end of month. Do whatever I want
Either.
as long as my mum
You
says
know,
I can.
student loan drops today.
It's not
So
today, is it?
yeah, today for me.
At your account.
I'm gonna say if it's
Need to
today,
double check.
I'm gonna be a very rich man if I look at this in a second.
It's not letting me be down. I'll be banking.
No, it's not come
Probably
through
best not
yet.
to do this now.
It's not come through. I thought I was gonna be like one of them people on postcode lottery advert, you know, they're like, yeah. But it was
You were about to be the rich and get rich quick.
yeah, but I was then I come around to that full circle moment.
You were about to be like the very thing we're gonna satirize.
Yeah. I'm gonna invest it all into VLS coin.
Is that the new one now?
Yeah, let's got it, could be.
Vincent's last summer coin.
I made the. Is this being like video recorded as well? Because if so, I've got a funny thing I'd like to show.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, video on
Um,
YouTube and then just the audio on Spotify.
Nice.
Oh,
So,
hello.
we did actually make a VLS pound coin.
Bless me. Sorry. Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
That's
Just
the
say
one.
something, James. To the yeah, there we go.
This is the Vincent's Last Summer pound coin, and around it it says "Get rich quick, Vincent's Last Summer 2023."
That's pretty cool.
And of course, it had to be dated, and we've got no idea what we're going to do with it. I just like got really bored one
NFT.
day, and
NFT still a thing?
yeah, that's it.
Oh
Hopefully,
man.
because that is a great
VLS
opportunity.
NFTs. Let's go.
WTF.
Well, the thing is as well, like we don't just do all the audio stuff as well. We do like all of the graphics that you see online and stuff.
Yeah.
The only thing that wasn't designed by us was the actual logo, which is probably the most ironic thing. You know, the most important thing we didn't design, but everything else we do. And so occasionally I'll just like sit on Photoshop and I'll be like, okay, let's just make something funny, and then maybe it'll get some use. And that pound coin is one of them. So if anyone can think of any uses for them, then feel free.
Yeah, spam W's in the chat.
Struggling.
Comes back to the David Byrne thing. You guys aren't just thinking about the music. You're also thinking about how do we actually present this to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to just look the part because you know that's incredibly important. We can't say the stuff we want to say without not looking the part. They're not looking as if we are satirizing these people.
Yeah.
So I think that it's always been very important to me that we kind of have that as well and have that imaging like just on that cutting edge bit.
It's nice to see a band that are so early on in their career but have got such a clear direction of where they want to go. You've kind of skipped the meandering, finding yourself phase, and you've just gone straight to like, okay, we are conceptual artists. This is what we do. This is what we want to present. I'm excited to see what you guys do
never
next.
never really been kind of vague. We've kind of just always like had the idea of like the suits and stuff, and like we knew we wanted to be a bit more ridiculous with it and do what we could with it that would make it, you know, set ourselves apart and such other things. So we're quite excited now that we've got this big year coming up where we're going to work a whole lot and we're going to get loads of content together, and it's going to be very satisfying to watch it all unfold.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's going to be a lot that's gone into this.
Yeah, you people, you don't even know what's coming, but when you see it,
lucky.
Yeah, you're all so lucky that you're in this time. You're in this part of time where you get to see Vincent's Last Summer. Don't even know you're born. I'm joking, of course, but yeah, I mean, this year is going to be very. Next year is going to be very exciting for sure.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Absolutely.
Unfold.
Yeah.
All right, we'll leave it there because I've got to get back to moving some boxes. We've got a one
moved those
afternoon and
boxes,
evening
man.
planned. Yeah. So
I don't know what I'm doing tonight, to be honest. Probably just more of that.
I
It's more
don't. I
making
think.
random crap on Photoshop and
Yeah.
sending it to Tom and having a good laugh.
Yeah. I think I'm
Tom.
just gonna go down to Aldi with my dad. This
Nice.
rock star lifestyle. But
See you, mate.
thank
See
you
you.
for having us on the poddy.
Yeah, no
Thank you
worries.
so
We've
much.
really enjoyed talking with you, John.
Yeah, it's been
And
fun.
let's follow us on Instagram. Everybody listening at Vincent's Last Summer,
Find us
Spotify.
everywhere.
Yeah,
I'll put a link in
and
the episode description as well, so people can find your music, people can see what you're up to on Instagram.
yeah, and remember, get rich quick.